Lazy 99. Hey everybody, welcome to another Lazy Dude 99 review. So I'm going to review Argo. Now you guys might want to say, well, why? This movie's been out for a bit. Well, hey, I've been falling behind in watching movies, so I took a double feature yesterday, and Argo was one of the movies that I saw. So, Argo, of course, if you haven't heard, is a movie about the true story about this thing that happened in Iran where all these people attacked the United States Embassy and took everyone inside hostage. They took every single person inside hostage, except for 6 people who made it out and found their way and got out of there and escaped. So nobody will hide these guys except for the Canadian Embassy. Oh yeah, we're always bailing you out when you're in trouble. In any case, the story is about how they're stuck in there with all these people on like American manhunts because of this other stuff that I don't really need to go into, but it's based on a true story. And this American agent, played by Ben Affleck, who also directs this movie, trying to get them out of there. And the best thing that there's so many different angles that they try, but the only thing that seems to work is they're going to put a fake movie into production and take them out as a film crew. Now, when it comes to movies like this, I don't usually see these types of movies in theaters. I usually just wait and I hear about it on Oscars or whatever, and then I rent it later. But I really was interested in this movie because, I don't know, I thought that the premise was a good idea, and now I live in a city where I can actually go to a movie theater, so that was good. But in any case, let me just say right off the bat that this movie does a really good job of making you feel like you're in this place and you're in this time and you're in this intense situation. Like after the movie's over, during the credits, they show shots of what happened and shots of how they portrayed it in the movie. And sometimes it's like, wait, which one's the movie and which one's the real one? You know, they are that good. The movie captures the area and the time so well that it's just like, wow, they worked so hard on it and they did such a good job of portraying it. From the little things like hairstyle to just the location, style of cars, the way they talk, all of it seems very authentic in this time period, and it really feels like you've been brought back to this place, this horrible situation that really happened. I think the best thing about this movie is how well they captured the period, because even when near the end where they have to jack up the intensity for the sake of the plot, I'm like, did that really happen? Because usually when you have movies based on a true story, when big stuff happens, like, you know, big intense situations happen, you're wondering, okay, I bet that didn't actually happen that way, they just jacked up the intensity. But the way it's worked in here, I actually wonder, whoa, did it happen that way? Could it have? I'm actually curious. So if there is any major changes to the story, I didn't really notice it, and I couldn't really tell a big change even if it was. So Ben Affleck is our main character, and I don't know, I just really like how he's handled with this, because he really comes across as a guy doing his job. Now, he is a CIA agent, and his job is very dangerous and very, you know, out there, but it doesn't come across as he's a lone guy who goes by himself, and yeah. You know, it didn't feel like a cliched CIA agent. This felt like an actual CIA agent. You know, his mannerisms were not, you know, it wasn't like, I'm a CIA agent. Oh yeah. You know, it was more along the lines that he was just like, yeah, this is my doing a job. And he doesn't come up with the whole, let's just make a fake movie right off the bat. No, it takes time. He analyzes every angle, and he happens to come across, you know, this, and he thinks this is the only and best way to get these people out of there without people suspecting them. And these people, these 6 people, we really get to feel for their situation. You know, they get a little paranoid. They're getting a little stir-crazy because they can't leave the Canadian ambassador's house, or else, you know, they really could just And also, I really like how they portray the people of Iran. Mostly because, you know, some of the stuff that you see that them doing is truly despicable, truly horrible. But you really get to see the situation that they're in. You know, this man who butchered and killed a lot of their people was sent over to the United States, where he was granted asylum, and they want him back for him to pay for his crimes. But the United States can't do that. Well, they won't, because as it was put in the movie, we got to save this dick so all the other dicks we have out there working for us will know that we'll come after them when the going gets tough. So I like how in the CIA agent, you know that they're not on board with saving this guy. They'd rather throw him to the wolves and let him reap what he sows. And you really get to see these people. You know, usually the agencies are painted in a bad light, that, oh, there's the government's behind everything. But, you know, you really get to see that they really do want these people to come out alive, especially in the ending. I'm not going to spoil it because it is history, so if you know the story, you know what they did. But the way that they handle once the people are finally saved, I really like that, because it shows that, you know, these guys are just really trying to help and do their job. The cinematography and shots in this movie are very well handled. But as I was saying for the people of Iran, you know, they're just portrayed as people who are really angry at the situation and they're lashing out. You know, they're not portrayed as, we are the evil organization. They're from a different culture, and they have different standards than we do, and they're just lashing out of the total unfair situation. I also like how this movie doesn't seem to be like, you know, take stuff and change it. You know, everything that happens looks and feels like it actually happened. Even when there's a part in the movie where I'm like, well, I don't think that, would that actually happen? And then in the credits, they compare the shots, and it did actually happen. That stuff does happen. And so everything about it, I think, really captured the movie well. Now, the only thing that I guess I could have complaint about is the story. Its pacing is well done, but, you know, it's like there's only so much you can keep it like tense, because like they're trapped in a house and they can't leave, and that's the gist of it, you know, like. But I you know, they did the best they could, and it's well. I just, you know, I wish the intensity was jacked up more, because I was already kind of on the edge of my seat. I wish I was like sweating. You know, if a movie can get me sweating, then you know you got my attention. However, that's a nitpick. It's barely even worth mentioning. They did the best with the story they had, and they didn't radically change anything in order to make it more intense and cool. So I respect them for that. That's not even a legitimate complaint. It's a personal preference. A lot of people are talking about Argo possibly being nominated for Best Picture when the Oscars come about. And you know what? I can totally see it. If they're still doing the 10 Best Pictures of the year like they've done for the past couple of years, you know, I'm all for it. I think it was a very entertaining movie, very well done, very well executed, and it really opened your eyes to a lot of stuff, you know, like a few things about government organizations, a few things about the people of Iran, you know, and you know what, a couple of stuff about the Hollywood stuff. I want to talk about the Hollywood stuff, because that's handled really well too, because you got two guys, one played by John Goodman, and the other played from the guy who played, you know, Perry White in the Superman Returns movie. I don't know his name, I probably should have looked that up. Man, I really start looking up things more. But anyways, and they play a makeup artist and a movie producer, and the lengths that they go to help saving these 6 people, really, you know, they do, and the acting is, they do a great job of portraying these guys, and they're funny, and they, you know what, I just think that John Goodman and this other guy who I can't remember, really played their part straight and played it good. And you know what, they did all that they could, and in the end, of course, it was successful, but it's the journey of this movie that really gets you going, and the way it takes you back to that place and really just fully inhabits you in that world. For complaints, there's not much. I mean, a couple of pacing issues where I thought things might have dragged a little, and maybe a couple of cliches, sort of thing, because, like, when there's a crowd, there's not one person in Iran that's not yelling, like, You know, it was just like, okay, calm down. But you know what? That's their culture. I don't know if that's exact, but you know what? It's the only things that really kind of bothered me. But besides that, nothing. There's nothing much to point out and say, oh, that was a problem. That was a mistake. Argo is a great movie, and it's a great, truly inspirational story of just a man saving these 6 people. And it's a true story, and it really opens your eyes to the culture of another country and to the way agencies work. So, I am giving Argo an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm LaserDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not worth it. See you around. Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel, and wait for more coming soon.